episode of Morelia Python Radio, and in this episode we are talking about so many topics and so many species. We're talking to Dustin Grahn. You may know him as Gecko.sphere on Instagram. We're going to talk about geckos and dwarf monitors and some of the pythons that he's working with, colubrids, and of course we're going to throw in some field herping because Dustin is out there field herping Arizona every weekend. Dustin keeps a wide variety of species, and he is also the one that I got my group of Oedura from. They're amazing, by the way. We will also touch on his approach to making backgrounds for his enclosures, where he draws the inspiration from, and some tips to get started. He kind of mentions that you sort of have to jump into the deep end of the pool to figure it out. We have a wide variety of topics for this episode, and we will have to have Dustin back at some point because I feel like there's so much more to chat about. So let's get into it. All right, welcome to episode 484 of Morelia Python Radio, and tonight we're talking with Dustin Grahn of Geckosphere on Instagram. We're going to be talking about all kinds of different reptiles, cool stuff. Probably the coolest thing for me is going to be the Aussie geckos. The coolest thing for Owen is going to be the roughies.
Am I that predictable now? I mean, he has Barron's racers too, and I mean, I will gladly talk about those as well. But am I that predictable?
So, when it comes to Barron's racers, would you prefer those over roughies over
rhinos?
Rhinos, or would you rather have the rhinos?
Well, those are two different things. Like, listen, no. Two different things. I would prefer rhinos over a lot of Asian colubrids. I would prefer blue Barron's racers probably over a lot of rear fang colubrids. So there you go. The answer is both.
Okay. Before we get Dustin on, we just want to talk a little bit about the craziness that's going on currently.
Yeah.
And what you can do.
Once again, it looks like everything's going to hell in a handbasket with the Lacey Act and USARK. I would say that there are several links that are being posted up everywhere. We'll probably throw them up on the show notes or certain parts of the NPR Instagram or different other things. And it's really easy. You go over to USARK, you can read everything that's going on with these proposed Lacey Act lists and things like that. And you can contact, it has a search engine. I did it earlier this week. It's a little bit of a search. You type in what state you're from or your zip code, and it'll pull up the senators that you have, and it pulls up their contact information. And you can literally copy and paste an email to let the representatives know that you don't support this. And it's a good way to get the word out, and it's really easy because the last thing we'd want is a lot of these proposed bans and sweeps that could become a thing. And also, it's definitely one of those things where it seems like the Fish and Wildlife would be able to add species at a whim or whenever they feel like it, which is probably pretty dangerous. I think they would probably add it if they ever found it in the wild or something like that, just to kind of nip it in the bud before it becomes a Burmese python effect. And that's a bad situation and something that probably isn't a problem that certain states would really need to be worried about. But either way, go over there, support USARK if you already don't. Send an email really quick. It literally took me 5 freaking minutes. And it's definitely a good way to get the word out. And even if you don't keep snakes or any of the proposed or the easily proposed animals, just understand that it could very easily become something that you care about very quickly. So, yeah.
Yeah, this covers mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, invertebrates. You know, it covers pretty much the gauntlet of exotic pets. One of the things, so if you want more details on what's going on, this is what I would recommend. Dave Kaufman put out a live stream the other day, and basically had him, Ryan, and Erica McVeigh and Goss, and they were on there talking about some of the I hate to use this word, but misinformation or confusion that was going on about this. One of the things right now is we should be making some noise, but I believe that the Senate is about to go on a break for about 3 weeks. So when they come back from that break is really when you really gotta hit it hard so they know about it. I would just really recommend going and watching that video. I mean, you can go and look on Dave Kaufman's YouTube channel, and it was really it was a good way to get all the information right directly from the source. I mean, Phil Goss is the guy at USARK, and one of the things that they brought up that I thought was pretty interesting, and this is what I'll just say, and then we'll get to Dustin, but was the fact that, you know, a lot of people want to donate to USARK, which is great, but I think the fact of being a member of USARK to where, like, so if you're going to donate $50, you know, just take a $5 membership or whatever, because I think it holds more weight when they're going to talk to these politicians, because, you know, they, what do they care about? They care about getting reelected, and they care about, you know, the whole, you know, how many people are going to vote, you know, like this group has a lot of people. I should pay attention to this, or try to, you know, come up with some kind of way to help these people out or whatever, or at least you know, listen to us. You know? So I think I don't know why you wouldn't be a member of USARK if you're keeping reptiles. I mean, even if you're just keeping one or two, I mean, what's a rat cost? $5?
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
And the thing is, like, even if you're not a major keeper, like, obviously, you know, if you're one of those big breeders and you don't have a membership, what the hell? But even if you're just a simple doing it just for pets and you only have a couple of snakes, like, it's not that expensive to hold on to one of those, and it is something that really helps out a lot of things. So yeah, I think there's some people that don't like the idea that it's a lobby group or whatever. You know, I've heard some of that type of talk and whatnot. But I mean, the truth is that if we didn't have USARK, we probably would have been gone. Man, I remember this happened in 2009. I don't know if you remember that, Owen, but 2009 they tried to do that HR 669. Yep. And you know, well, there was that one point. There was that one point where the certain animals were banned, and then we won the lawsuit against it to get them unbanned and all this other stuff. And it's like, of course they're going to keep coming back. They're not going to stop. So this is just like, I think I kept seeing the meme where it's like people running around screaming that the government's coming for the hobby. It's like, oh, first time. It's like, this will keep happening. Like, it's
and guess what?
Yeah,
it's never going to
stop. So you got to hit it every time. No. So
this is the one thing that, like, sometimes frustrates me with the reptile hobby is the fact that we go from 0 to 100. Why can't we just stay at a steady 70? You know what I mean? Like,
we can't do it.
Stay at a steady 70 and maybe we'll be okay. But like this, it's like we don't care about it, and then all of a sudden it's on the radar, and then everybody's up in arms about it. So maybe you know, again, this just all goes to how the public perceives us. So all those things that are happening on YouTube, or how you present yourself on social media or whatever it would be, this is where these things matter, you know. Not trying to sort of judge people for what they do or whatever, but, you know, I mean, you got to think about, you might be getting views for X, you know, but like, what's the long-term consequences?
I'm going to juggle these black mambas, and somehow that went wrong. Like, whatever.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, like, you know, I've seen a few people recently where they're kind of doing surgery on snakes, on, you know, I just, you know, things like that. And obviously there's people that still live feed, which I mean, I don't.
Well, there's nothing wrong with live feeding, but there's something wrong with filming it and throwing it out there and being like, me, watch my ball python eat a mouse. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, don't do that. Like, people, the majority of the people out there are going to side with the mouse, and you're a monster. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. We try not to bring those things up only because we don't want to. I don't know. I feel like when we do that, sometimes we not purposely bring light to those situations and force the views that exactly what those people are looking for. And you're trying to stop that kind of thing, and it just makes it worse, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the right way to go is, or right thing to do. But I do know that you should just join USARK. Yep. That's what I do know.
That's the end thing. Yeah.
With that.
Anyways.
Let's get into it. Welcome, Dustin. How you doing? Sorry to have such a shitty opening.
Yeah, weird. It's downturn. You got to bolster us up here, buddy.
We need some passion, man. We need some passion. We need to get it going. So
Dustin, welcome to Morelia Python Radio. And I guess we'll start with the old question of what got you into reptiles?
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure being here, being able to talk to you. What got me into reptiles? Well, my family has kept reptiles pretty much my entire life. So I'm only 22, I'm 23 this year. But like when I was pretty young, we would breed bearded dragons and all kinds of like the common pets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle was a big part in starting the local reptile show here in Tucson. And so he used to have like a massive reptile room, and he used to breed lots of colubrids and like Burmese pythons and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I used to just love going over there and being filled with it, walking into the reptile room and smelling it, and it just that smell still brings me joy today. Like walking that pet store smell, you know.
Got it. Yeah.
And then it just kind of took off from there. I had a little break in like high school and college and stuff like that, but I recently got back into it, I think 6 years ago now. It's just taken off from there.
Cool. So what was the thing that drew you? Like, do you have a certain genus or species that you're working with heavily, or is the majority of your collection? And what drew you to that species?
So I've kind of tried to focus now. Like I still have a wide range of species here, but I really want to focus on like the Indo-Aussie pythons and then New World colubrids and geckos. I think I really like the geckos just because they're so small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get like leeches, which are huge, but most of the stuff I keep is pretty small and easy to keep. And then you can do like the naturalistic setups, and they don't really destroy everything, and it's a good mix.
is there a particular genus of geckos or
that really sticks out? Yeah.
Of geckos.
So for sure.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
So what drew? Go ahead.
I work with a lot of gargoyles actually. That's kind of like my main breeding focus right now. Some of the other New Caledonian stuff, but mostly gargoyles are what I breed the majority of right now.
So I'm not real familiar with gargoyles, but are they kind of like the upscale of a crested gecko?
Yeah.
It's like the next level up.
Gargoyle, lychee,
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of like Cresties are like the ball python, and then like to me,
gargoyles are the carpet python, and then
be like
lychee's
the
like
water
a retic.
python.
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
Sorry.
I personally just like them a lot better. They tend to be less flighty, at least my animals do, and they get a little bit bigger, a little more impressive. I like their head shape better. It's like the little horns that stick up,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So why Aussie pythons as opposed to like boas or retics, or you said berms?
Well, I guess I shouldn't say New World colubrids, kind of just everything New World, because there's some. I work with Sonoran boas as well.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, I'd like to get into like the Argentines and the Hog Islands, like more of the locality stuff.
Yeah.
But Aussie pythons, I'm not really sure what drew me to them. It's just a pull that I feel to them,
Very cool.
They're hard to beat, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's because of maybe a majority of them are arboreal or semi-arboreal, at least the stuff that I want to work with. And that just kind of, they tend to be out more, better display animals. So then I've got some ball pythons too, and they're just like the ones I do have in cages, just hide all my scrubs, usually out or,
Yeah. I'll admit that. So, did you have like a role model or a mentor that kind of guided you through the beginnings of it, or were you just like at your uncle's heels, kind of just picking it up, whatever you could grab, grabbing the data?
He passed away when I was really young. So he would have been my mentor through all of this, but getting back into it was just kind of myself. And then getting into the community, I met a really good friend here local. His name's Alex. Panda's Fauna on Instagram. He's got an amazing collection, just outstanding with some very beautiful animals. But he's helped me out through a lot of this too, especially recently.
Cool. So, can you kind of give us a little bit of a brief overview of your collection? I know it's big, or deceptively big, and I know it's definitely diverse.
I've got about 90 animals, so it's not a huge collection, but it's definitely big.
Bigger than most, smaller than some. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got colonics, breeding a bunch of baby Odura right now. Those things just keep pumping out eggs like crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, with the Aussie geckos, I've got the Odura, I've got Strafiers, I've got Nephris, I've got underwater Soros, I've got the beaded geckos or Lucasium. I've got I think I said the Aussies.
Nice.
And yeah, like I said, the colonics. I've got Gargoyles, Cresteds.
So Eric's just going to want a box of Aussie geckos. And the good thing is that you can like make it a variety pack where there's a bunch of different kinds in there. So
yeah, as soon as I get babies, I'll send you some. For sure.
There you go, Eric. Yeah, geckos.
The Odura is out right now. Looking at it.
Awesome. Those guys gotta be grown by now, huh? Getting big.
I can't do it, man. Like, with legs, they fall apart. I can't do it.
I didn't think I would be. For being a snake guy for so long, I didn't think that I would make the transition to geckos. But I don't know. I figured I'd give it a shot, and I got to say, man, they're pretty cool.
Listen, I have very large hands, and I'm not gentle with things, so I just would
touch them. I just look at them.
I imagine I'd crush it, and that's
they're out all the time too. At least I have a trio together.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'll come in at night, and they're just barking at each other.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome. All right, yeah. I do enjoy that kind of stuff. Like you can imagine, like having the one big appeal for having a dart frog tank is that they'd be out and calling to each other. So if these things are out and like barking at each other, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
I'd be all right with that. Yeah.
Yeah. As we get into stuff, we'll get more into how you keep them and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. You
geckos
started talking Aussie geckos.
Yeah, he went right over. Yeah.
I've got some other odds and ends geckos. Like I've got Malaysian cat geckos. I've got Iridactyloides. I've got I think that's about it for geckos. And then some of the colubrids I keep. I've got Subox, Transpecos rats, Leonis, the variable kings. I've got California kings. I've got the yellow-headed rats up here. Those are awesome.
Nice.
Baron's racer, Mexican pine snakes. I've got a Duneral's boa that my friend produced.
Oh, cool.
So
go ahead.
How are the Barons racers? Because they've been kicking around in the back of my head, man.
Barons racers over rhino rats every day.
And and this is another thing, like, and I'm there's a joy and a sorrow to the fact that my plane was late when we went out to Arizona because I didn't get to see your collection, so I didn't get to check out all your shit. But I also got a rough scale out of it, so it's like, like I don't. It sucks, but like so it's one of those things where I would have loved to see those Barons up close. I mean,
they're awesome. They're big. They're impressive. Like the females get huge. The females can get like up to 6 feet and big around. And mine's out all the time. I come in the room and it just pokes its head up, starts looking at me, following me.
Yep.
And it doesn't like to sit in a water bowl and get fungal infections. So, like rhino rats.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Rhinos.
And the rear.
I was gonna say, like the rear fang thing. Does that bother you at all? Does that? Do you?
No. I mean, they have a super strong feeding response. So every time I get it out, like I'll hook it out, and then once they realize it's not getting fed, they're pretty calm.
Pretty calm.
Same thing with the false water cobras. I've got a pair here from Zach Lopin.
Did he just like Johnny Appleseed himself all over the place with those goddamn things? Because it just seems like,
did, man.
What did they produce? You get 200 or something?
I guess, because I mean, like I have, because I got false water cobras. A buddy of mine got false water cobras.
It's like Winfrey of
false
water cobras.
No, you get a false water cobra, and you get and it was So he just kept doing that because then he knows we're all going to come back to him for other ones later. But do you have the greens or the blues Baron racers? Greens.
Yeah, I've got a green to blue. Yeah. So
Damn
it's I'm not really sure how it works, but
Neither.
the browns are actually my favorite.
That's the
bands.
problem.
Cool.
And I was having this debate with Nipper where he's like, pick your green, brown, or blue, and I'm like, all of them. I can't do this. Like,
right.
And my buddy Alex I was talking about, he's got a bunch of blues and a bunch of greens, and he's got some crazy blues that are like silver almost.
Yeah.
Like the variety in that species is insane.
Disgusting, and I must have some. Rob be damned. I'm just gonna have to get them.
Well, I think the thing was, like, Owen was all hype on getting them, and then Rob sent a picture of what they're
like what the chronic, like some dude's hand dissolving, and he's like, maybe you want to think about this, and I'm like, thought about it, yes, like so.
As long as you're careful, and just treat them as
don't stick your finger in its mouth. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not allowed to have Gila monsters.
How hard are they to keep? Are they difficult to keep as far as the Barons race?
It's super easy.
Are they a colubrid though? Or are they like constantly eating and shitting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are they like rhinos or like these? Everybody's on this colubrid kick where they're just giving this varied diet where
really anything. I was talking to Zach about them, and he said that they almost made a parrot go extinct from like where they're from.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
damn.
Shit.
Yeah,
I gotta get them. It's gotta happen. I mean, it's in my that's gotta happen this year. Shit.
Are they sort of like rhinos where they're more cold tolerant, or is it?
I give mine a hotspot of like just a small hotspot in the cage of like 90, and then it varies all the way down to like high 70s.
Okay.
And like after she eats, she'll go chill at the very top, bask, and then for the most part just spends the entire cruising the entire cage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool. What you have a breeding pair, adults?
I just have a female right now. Yeah.
Oh, female right now. Okay. Very cool. All right. Let's talk about we'll jump into the geckos. We'll get to the python stuff at the end of it. But talk to me about your Oidura. I can attest that they are beautiful. They're awesome. What made you get into them? How do you keep them?
Yeah, so I just I knew about them, and then I randomly found a couple of babies at a show.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately had to scoop them up. I didn't really know a lot about them going into them, so I just did a lot of research. As I just set them up pretty basic when I first got them, in tub setups, and then once they got a little bit of size, they're it's not necessarily naturalistic, it's just got cork on the background,
mm-hmm.
and they're pretty arboreal, so vertical setup, lots of cork for them to hide in. I just have cork layered, so they can go into different spots and get different heat gradients. I have 1.2 together right now, and like I said, they pump out eggs like crazy. And so I think I'm going to try cooling them. And if that doesn't slow down the eggs, I'm just going to separate the male for a little bit and give the girls a break. But
okay. So when you say they're pumping out eggs, what are they pumping out? 2 eggs every couple of months or
every month or so?
Every month.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they don't show any signs of slowing down or that it's hurting them at all. They're eating as long as you keep feeding them, they'll keep pumping them out.
Well, talk to me. Well, okay. So you're basically setting them up, cork bark so they can get and hide. It's kind of like how I have basically one of those tall Exoterra type setup things. What are you doing as far as temperatures? Do you keep them?
Yeah, I give them a hot spot of 90, and then just a small focused hot spot where they can bask at the top of the cage, and then like a lot of my stuff where it just goes down to mid 70s, where they can cool down if they need to. Right.
I find that during the day, I don't know, maybe you can, what your experience is, but during the day, they seem to the little crack at the top of the Exoterra, where the cage meets the background. They kind of just go right in there and where the hot, the hot spot is. And I see them move from one side where the hot heat is, and then they sort of move away from that.
Mine bask all day, pretty much. They'll stay at the top there and just bask all day and go away, come back and go away. Like you said, have you noticed yours, fire up and fire down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're almost translucent.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Yeah. It's pretty cool. what do you do as far as like, I don't know, like what do you diet and how often are you feeding them, those type of things?
I throw a shit ton of crickets in there like every couple of days, or not every couple of days, like 2 or 3 times a week. And then I have a bowl at the bottom that I'll throw dubia and mealworms in that the females can just pick off whenever they want. And it stays pretty full most of the time.
Okay. So it basically crickets, mealworms, and dubia and
insects. I did try feeding them like the Crested Gecko diet when they were little, and one of them, like I originally got the 2 females for the babies, and one of them ate it once, and I never saw it again. So
yeah. I think I read somewhere that's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think in the wild they probably like lick up sap from trees and probably eat rotten fruit as well, like most geckos do. Most the Ovidura do.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere, and I was like, so I bought some of that like Crested Gecko diet type of stuff, and they said you should just put it in there, and if they eat it, it's kind of like a supplement, I guess, if you will, nutrition or whatever.
I go through so much with the Rhaphidoculus that it's no big deal. You just don't want to deal with them.
Right. So you stopped offering it to them because you didn't see any action?
They never really ate it.
Gotcha. Okay. And then how do you know, like, what are you looking for as far as when you're breeding them? Like,
well, like most geckos is pretty violent. So you'll see like bite marks on the nape. Yeah.
Right.
And then, I mean, once they have eggs and they're ovulating, you can see it.
All right.
You can see the eggs in their stomach when they're up on the glass. So I'll just watch them every day, checking. At one point, I'll see them on the glass, and as soon as I don't see eggs in one of them, I dig up the eggs. I just keep one little corner in their cage moist.
Okay.
Pretty much all the time, and so that's where they're gonna lay them. Like I've tried lay boxes, and I tried a bunch of different stuff, and they never seem to use them. They would just always dig. And when I was doing the lay box, I wouldn't really keep like a moist section, and I'd get a bunch of dried out eggs. So I just figured, ditch the lay box. Keep a part of the ground, keep part of the substrate moist, and let them do what they want to do.
So is it similar to with the Kims and the Ackies? Like I have a section of the cage where it's similar, right? But I put a cork bark on top of it. So every morning I kind of pick up that cork bark, spray underneath there, and then put it back down. So it kind of keeps that humidity and that same type of deal.
Exactly like that.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's good to know.
And other than laying, I don't ever see them going in there just to like get that humidity spike, I do.
Right.
They're on a misking. There's like one single nozzle on them that just sprays for like 40 seconds every day just so they can get water.
Yep.
But
gotcha.
Other than that, I don't really worry about trying to keep them too humid.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, they just seem to do their thing, man. I don't really, it's just cool to watch them and it's so different than snakes, but yeah, I dig them. They're really cool. So like with the I know, so they do a color change into adulthood?
Yeah, they'll gain a lot, so that you see the basic pattern on your babies, and you can see the basic pattern on my Instagram page for anyone listening. But yeah, they'll gain a lot of that pattern, so they'll keep those big spots that they have when they hatch out with, and then they gain like this almost like a star pattern in between all of that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And you were saying that I know when I got the 2 from you, you were saying that you're seeing more and more of those spots on their back.
Yeah. So the female that you got them from, and then the male that I have are pretty heavily patterned. And so I personally like that look. So I have one whole back that just hatched out. That's crazy. Has a lot of patterns.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one and put that back in the breeding rotation.
Is that like, I know with crested geckos, right? It's really not like genetics like recessive and stuff where it's more of like a polygenic type of thing. Is that what's going on with these, or is it
I'm assuming so. I have no idea.
All right. I didn't know if it was.
I think they're pretty obscure, and not a lot of people are working with them to try to figure that kind of stuff out.
Gotcha. Okay. They're one of the rare geckos.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I mean, the one, for me, as far as Aussie geckos and what sort of got me going was the Strafiers, right? We saw one in the Northern Territory, and I was just blown away by how cool looking this thing was. It just, I mean, what's it like working with those Same type of questions, setups, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so pretty much basically the same setup. I don't really worry about humidity, like I said. Hot spot at like 90. I give the Oidura UVB as well. I give the Strafiers UVB just on during the day. And then
are you keeping that on for like basically the whole time of like 12 hours or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start cycling it, giving less to the Strafiers just because the Oidura have places to hide and get away from it.
Okay.
The Strafiers don't really. But yeah, and with the Strafiers, I just have really thin branches in there for them to hide on and cling onto, like you see a lot of them doing, a lot of pictures of them doing. And then I just have like a basic ABG, I guess, mix that dries out pretty well. I'll spray them every like couple times a week just to give them some hydration. And then like a hot spot at like 90, it goes all the way down to mid 70s.
Now, have you bred them yet, or you?
No, not yet.
Not yet. And you have Williams Eye, right?
Yes. I really want to get the Ciliaris, the Northerns. Those are my favorite.
Yes.
So I found this one and couldn't pass on the price, so I just had to get these.
They're cool too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, that's cool. All right. It seems like, I don't know, maybe I find it funny how like when you insert yourself into these different niches of the reptile hobby, you find that it's almost like they seem like more popular than I thought that they were. And it could be just because that's what I'm looking at the moment. But I don't know. It seems like as of late, a lot of people are talking about Strofs, you know. I mean, Riley just built a cage for him. Nipper has like, you know, I don't know, hundreds of them at this point. I don't know. Are you seeing the same thing? Or?
I think they're gaining popularity right now. I think a lot of the obscure stuff is starting to gain a little more popularity. It's going away from leopard geckos and ball pythons and bearded dragons, and people are starting to branch out and realize that there's a lot more out there than just the basics. And
well, I don't know about how you feel about it, but I kind of like the idea of, you know, with the geckos. I think you were talking about it earlier, how it's like you can keep them in smaller enclosures where you're doing these naturalistic setups because obviously they're smaller animals, but you could have a variety of species and it takes up one baker's rack thing, you know, and it's like you have all these different species where if you're trying to do that with, say, pythons, you're basically looking at a room, you know? Yeah.
That's, I mean, I think that's why I like them so much too, is just there's so much variety and you can have so much in a little, I mean, that kind of sounds bad, so much in a little space, but
right.
when you're working with tiny animals, like they don't need much.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do like bioactive type of thing with them, or are you just straight, you're just, you know, sort of natural?
Species, yeah, the Strafiers and the Oidura, no, just because the Oidura, no, because I dig it up so much. Like when I had just the two females, they were in like a bioactive thing, and then digging for eggs was a pain, so I just stripped it all apart and basic setup.
Okay. All right. So, and then, so you haven't bred the Strofs yet.
Not
so,
yet.
Okay. What about as far as you have the underwater Soros, which I have those as well. Freaking cool, man. They're little hunters at night that come out there.
I can't
Tell me about them.
I can't wait to get those. They're in a rack right now. I want to put them in like some little exopairs or something so I can really observe them and see what they do. But those are still young, and I'm not even quite sure what sex they are yet. So I'm just raising those up.
Okay. That's the thing too. Like, so you can't really sex geckos when they hatch out, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of have to.
Most you can't. It's pretty hard.
It's like monitors are the same thing, man. You just like roll the dice and hope for the best. Buy a bunch and hope for a pair, and a bunch you have. Okay, cool. Yeah.
One species I
go ahead.
have is the Phylaris amicolae.
How are they?
Those are cool. I only have a male right now, but that's probably my favorite gecko that I have.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pretty badass.
They're super easy too. I mean, I feed them like 5 crickets a week, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, they don't eat a lot. They're a cool weather species, so they don't take any heat. They don't really eat a lot. Their metabolism isn't very fast.
So they're just basically in the room, no heat.
Nope.
You put light on them or anything, or
Yeah.
no,
Right now he's in a tub setup until I can make room. I'm gonna do like a nice bioactive setup for
Gotcha.
it. But yeah,
Okay.
just hanging out, spray him. They do like humidity, no more. So I spray him quite a few times a week.
Okay. So basically, you don't have like a mist thing on it. You're spraying them.
Yeah, that's
hand spraying them. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, man, that's the thing, right? You start looking into these things, and you're like, oh man, this species is cool. Oh man, this species is cool. You're like, God damn it. I personally, out of the knobtails, I think Amy Eye is probably my favorite.
Yeah, those are cool.
There's just something about their look, you know. But yeah, I was lucky to get a pair from April of the underwater Soros. One's a hypo, I guess, and
cool.
The other ones are normal. I kind of like the normal one more.
Mine are het hypo. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure it's a recessive gene in there.
So are you keeping them? What? How are you keeping them? I know you said they're in a rack.
Pretty simple. Just a loose substrate. Lots of bark and leaves and stuff from the hide under, and little plastic hides. I'll keep one area, like whenever I fill up the water, I'll just kind of spray around it. So one side of it's pretty humid, and then just a hot spot of like higher 80s. So I don't keep them as warm.
Right.
And then they're from like dry scrub areas in Australia, so I don't worry about humidity too much, but I just give them that option if they want to go into
right. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. Give them just a little spot where they can get under if they want. But yeah, the weird thing about them is they kind of hide all day. Sorry, Owen's texting me. Getting there, laughing the studio now. What? I don't know what that means. He's laughing at us. I don't know. Let me mark that down. Hold on, 38. Sorry, man.
No, it's all good.
Technical difficulties tonight.
I started it out, so we're good.
Right on. So I get just to switch gears for a second. Like, how do you juggle the switching gears between going snake guy today I'm gecko guy? Is it hard to balance, or is this what you've always known, or you know?
I don't know. I don't find it too difficult to switch. I mean, my snakes are they take a lot less out of me. They're a lot easier to care for. A lot of the gecko stuff is like everyday maintenance. You know, a lot of them pooping all the time. So I'm spot cleaning or just checking on everything. I mean, I have so much that it's a couple hours every day anyways. So it's pretty, and a lot of the stuff I keep is pretty similar. Like
you try to get stuff within the same type of environment.
I try to just kind of keep everything where I give it all options. So a lot of my stuff has like a humid hide. A lot of my stuff can get away and stay drier. It can get warmer. It can get cooler. Just kind of let them do what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. I think that's kind of it seems like herpetoculture is kind of moving that way. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about the early days of NPR and where we were, you know, we would offer perching, and I've said a million times, like, they don't perch, you know, and it's like we're not providing the right thing for them to do it. And now when you do, all of a sudden they don't want to be off the ground. You know? I mean, they don't want to be on the ground type of deal.
I love the little, what are they? The little brackets that especially enclosure design makes, where you can slide the hide in and make a top mounted hide. I use that.
Yeah.
For everything that's in a cage has that, and pretty much everything uses it. Everything from the scrubs, the boas, a lot of the colubrids, even a ball python I have. Like everything loves that.
I mean, you think about it, right? They're like an ambush predator. They're going to wait in the hollows of trees. We've read a million times about arboreal snakes being in the hollows of trees, and you would think that's, especially like with scrubs, because you have a pair of scrubs. Is that what you?
No, so I have a male Wamina, and then I've got my buddy's male Barneck here. And then, so he was going to send me a female too. to just like get acclimated and chill out here. But I'm in the middle of a move, so once we get once we get that all settled, then
that's fun.
Once we get that all settled, then I'll be trying for those barn eggs.
I was going to say with the scrubs, I think that's a great move, because to me, what I've always noticed with working with them is that they sort of feel more confident when they're kind of looking down at you rather than you look. Yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
This one right here, and I've got like different shelves that it can hang in. Then I also have one of those top mounted hides underneath one of the shelves, like the very top shelf.
Oh, okay, very cool. Okay, how is the temperament on it?
Barneck's a dick. Yeah,
sounds about right.
Bite me in the face. The Lamina's pretty cool. Once it's out, it's pretty chill. Usually doesn't even musk. But
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're scrub pythons. They don't really want to be messed with, so I just leave them alone for the most part.
Yeah. It's
get them out every once in a while just to check them out, make sure everything's okay. But
right. Gotcha. Okay. I guess we switch back to the geckos real quick. What else? So we talked about, I don't know. What else are you working with gecko wise?
The guards I've got.
Right. Talked about those, right?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those working with like the red.
Do you work with different morphs or what do you, red stripe?
Mostly red stripe stuff. That's pretty much it. I've only got, I think, 2 pairs. I've got 2.2. I've got a female that's going to be ready next year, and then I got a buddy that sent me a couple here to breed, and so the numbers are growing, but still small.
Okay, gotcha.
But they pump out a bunch of babies too, like 12 to 16 a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They do the same thing, where they'll lay clutch of 2 every month for like 4 to 6 months, maybe more.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. What's the gecko species you don't have that you want to get into?
I really like some lychees. Just finished that whole New Caledonia thing. A lot of the New Caledonia stuff, like the Saracenorum, those are cool. Those are underrated. And then probably, let's see, I don't even really know.
So you're like a complete the set kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
For sure. I'd like to get just more of the Aussie stuff. A lot of some of the different knobtails. Like you said, I'd really like to get AMA. My dream species would probably be the chameleon gecko from Australia.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're cool.
Yeah. If I could get my hands on those, that would just be a dream come true. Or I forget what they are. There's another species of underwater Soros too. Those guys are super cool.
Now we were just talking about the whole I don't know. I think that's one of the things that fascinates me as of late with getting into different species and stuff, is just this whole idea that like you sort of find that the species that you love, you sort of get, you meet people that are passionate about that species, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, these are my people, cool, we all love carpet pipe, whatever the species would be. And then you kind of don't realize that there's like other groups of people that are into other species of things. And, I don't know. I know that probably sounds dumb, but it's just weird for me because, once you sort of step outside of that world, like I'm talking like going into the lizard world, you're like, oh, so there's other people that like other things and that's all they like, where they don't even know what a carpet python is, maybe, you know what I mean? So
I have my ADHD is way too bad to focus on one thing.
It's hard, right?
I imagine it's a lot harder for like gecko and lizard guys, because there's so much stuff in that realm of like it's not that far of a jump to get into a new species of gecko.
No.
So it's almost like the itch can be scratched real easy of getting into a new species where it's like, I don't have to change that much to insert this thing, which is an entirely new species, where, it might be a little bit more difficult. And then with the dwarf monitors and other stuff like that, it's kind of like you can jump and still kind of stay in your little niche, but you're all over the place as far as species. So it's cool.
Speaking of dwarf you're working with Storai? Is that right?
I have a female, an adult female.
How are you like them?
She's cool. She's super awesome. I like her better than the Aki, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my Aki's kind of mean and doesn't really like me or like like anything.
Do you have a red or red Aki?
A Reeds line Aki.
Okay, cool. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying about the
I mean, she's always out. She's out. She's always like watching me, seeing what I'm doing. Pretty cool to interact with.
Do you see yourself going down that path?
Dwarf monitor?
Right.
Go nuts.
A lot of them have been kept outside successfully in Tucson, so we'll see.
Ooh.
See, that's just not fair. I mean, there's an added level of fun with like being able to keep outdoor in a warm weather, state.
That I really want to give a shot. Like, I have a buddy up in Phoenix that's doing Australian water dragons. My Tegu, my Tegu's been outside.
Okay.
I think a lot of the carpets could do pretty well outside, like especially Retals. Like I think it could be pretty interesting.
That would be really. I would love to do outside, man. If I could, I would go that way. Because I mean, like other than just making sure that nothing gets in to get them and they don't get out. Other than that, it's pretty much.
Yeah, well,
they take care of themselves.
I remember Scott Eiper talking about how it's not really easy to keep them outside. I remember listening to a podcast where he was saying it's not like everyone thinks it's easier, but it's not. It's actually a lot harder. And I kept the first. Yeah. I tried it this year at the Tegu, and it's definitely a lot harder. It's
what do you find more difficult?
Just like cage maintenance. You got to make sure that especially the Tegu, you got to make sure that thing's not getting out. I also have dogs, so they don't want to mess with it, and it's just. You have a lot more factors that you have to deal with. Like you don't have controlled temperatures, you don't have controlled humidity, you're not in control of a lot of things. So you just gotta be on it a lot more. Like a lot.
Raccoon could come and take your Aki and run off with it. It's a lot of shit that could happen outdoors.
I think too, right? I would think that you might fall into this sense of it's outside, so it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But like if you have inclement weather. Mm-hmm. Whether it be, for us here, let's say it's the summer and all of a sudden we have
big ass
a
storm
hurricane coming through or whatever, you'd have to sort of have, a backup plan to where they're going to go. Yeah. When, you know what I mean?
Luckily,
I would think that would be something.
Luckily, we have pretty mild weather here, so it's not like we
did
get a monsoon storm that had like 3 inches of water in our backyard, so I had to bring her in for that.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
And then there's the idea of
it rained for like 4 days straight. It was insane.
Jesus.
Wow.
Then there's the idea of like what Eric was saying with the inclement weather. I mean, of going to get them, and also like if you're not in a position to get home to get them, they've got to ride it out till you can come get them and stuff like that. So there's that whole thing to deal with. So there's a lot to it. I mean, what we've heard with people that have successfully kept animals outside in like Australia and stuff is that they have multiple hides, shelters, or even access to a building where they can just, if shit's getting bad, they're like, screw it, and they go inside. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
I think a while ago, I would have thought about having like a type of cage where I could keep it outside and rotate the animals in it. I think I would have to be at this point, the whole, I guess not that it scares me, but just like the whole idea of just all of my snakes sharing the same cage might be.
It scares the shit out of me. Saying? Like, dude.
I don't know. That could be dicey.
Well, they're all in the same room, right?
Yeah.
It's not
I know.
See,
it's not insanely different, but yeah. Well, dude, just drain your pool. We'll get a bunch of bags of sand. We could easily get this going. Just
Shit, if I drain my pool, that would be a perennial cage.
There you go. Yeah. How many Akis can fit in there? 400. Like,
yeah. Over in this, I'll have it mapped out like Australia. They have their own little
sections. Yeah. Okay. We'll have to perenniate everything. Oh, so yeah.
Cool. Okay. So the stores, you're digging the stores. Do you see yourself getting a pair and trying to breed them, or is it just something that?
Okay.
Yeah. She's ready to go right now. She is fat. She is cycling. She wants to go, but I don't have a minute.
Right.
So.
Very cool.
It's always the way, man. I don't know why everybody's got lone females nowadays. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it moving away from people buying pairs of animals anymore, or are they just buying like one and then adding a mate later on?
I think shit
What do you guys
happens.
think?
I mean, every lone female that I have is because it came by itself and there wasn't a lone male available or a pair available. If the pair had been available, I'd have taken them both. So it's like that. But other ones I've had pairs and I've lost one. So I have an unpaired male because I lost the female. I have an unpaired female because I only got the girl. So I'd say it's readily available if you go looking. But just depends on what's out there.
I've just taken Owen's advice, and if you're going to try something new, get a female. That way, if you do like it, you have an older female.
Ready to roll.
Yep.
And then if you hate it, yeah.
Words of wisdom.
And you know what? Every breeder is totally okay with selling a lone male. You know? Yeah. I'm like, hey, can I have a water python? I don't sell lone females. Well, that sucks. Like it's well, I guess I won't give you my money. It's like, all right. So
yeah,
it's much easier that way.
Okay. I don't know. You want to so do you do before we get into we'll switch gears a bit and we'll talk some rough scales. Your cage is amazing. I mean, that is just so cool. I love it.
Thanks.
We'll talk about it and how the roughies using it and whatnot. But are you doing that for everything where you're making those backgrounds and everything at this point?
I mean, you can see like behind me,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the geckos, yes. A lot of the arboreal stuff, I'm trying to. I mean, it's a pretty slow process to get everything that.
Everything, yeah, I know.
It's just I enjoy making them, so I want to make them. A lot of that's
it's quite relaxing, right?
Oh yeah, and a lot of that's for me. I like to look at it. So
yeah. 100%.
They do not enjoy it as much as you guys do. They just live in it. Yeah.
I find that like I don't know. I find that I even watching it, I find it quite relaxing. I watch Luke and Beach a Scaly Beast all the time.
That's where I get most of my inspiration from. His stuff is insane.
Right, he's awesome, right? Oh man, dude, he's got it nailed down. He makes it look so easy.
The one he just did for his earlier, that's what I'm doing for mine. Next.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something similar to that.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm telling you know what I say it all the time, but it's right here. This book right here. It's the Habitat of Australia. There it is.
Is that your picture of Australia?
Habitat's Wild Habitat of Australia. Dude, it's the best book if you want to do naturalistic enclosures.
Yeah, I gotta look for that
it's so great. Yeah, you get so much inspiration from it. But so
yes,
roughies, talk to us.
How many do you have?
What?
I just have a male right now. They're expensive.
They are.
So,
yeah.
I happened to I had some blood pythons. They weren't really my jam. So I sold the pair and was like, oh hey, there's a rough scale available. So I got that from Fieldstone. From Brett.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Brett's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was super easy to work with, super great guy.
Yeah, he and I taunt each other back and forth. He's like, I'm breeding rough scales. I'm like, and I hate you. So it's so far he's winning. So
it doesn't really sound like taunting. It sounds like
it is. I'll figure out something later. I just don't know what yet. So yeah.
Right.
But no, that's
so how is the the snake in that enclosure?
Awesome, man. He uses every part of that. He's still small. It's only like an 18 or a 12 by 12 by 18. Like it's still a small cage, but I just figured I'd throw some geckos or something in it. Let's see how it grows it. But yeah, like all the ledges and stuff, like he uses them all the time. That's where he sits with like
how is
all the time.
How is the roughie compared to some of the other python species that you've kept?
Definitely my favorite. Okay. It's just it's the story behind them. And then, like I said, Morelia, they're just out all the time. Great display animals. That's what it's about for me.
Yeah. Seeing it, I don't want to. I want to be able to see my snakes. So, which is cool because I'm like,
and it's not.
Yeah.
Like my mail's pretty chill. He doesn't ever want to try and bite me. Never,
awesome.
Never refuses food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's where it sits 90% of the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine, and he's on his rock ledge getting, because it's kind of darker in here right now, or he knows when night is, so he's gonna start cruising around. He's been off food, but he shed these giant sperm plugs about a week ago, so he's not eating right now, but he's ripping around that cage, and I'm like, soon, buddy, soon. Like, it'll be okay. Just
what are you up to now?
I will have 3. I'm getting another one later on this month, an adult female. So sweet. I have.
Man, you are buying so many snakes. I know what's happening. You would think you weren't getting married at the end of the year.
She moved in. Bills are not as horrible as they used to. More snake money for Owen.
You got a raise. All right. Let's see how it goes. All right.
Actually, this one is coming on a semi-permanent breed loan. So I have to split the first 2 clutches, but then she's mine. But she's ready to roll. The other girl I have needs another year. So I didn't think I was going to be able to try for roughies this year, but I am going to be able to. So, yeah.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
Thank you. And then I'll end up hatching that scaleless one that Eric has me seeing in my nightmares, and then I won't know don't know what to do, and I won't want to breed them anymore. So you ruined me. You ruined that whole thing. You and Lucas ruined me with that.
Wait, there's a scaleless.
No, there isn't. But they put a hypothetical to me. They're like, "What would happen?"
Okay, ask him the hypothetical.
All right, the hypothetical is:
see what he says.
If you bred the first ever scaleless rough scale, would you kill it or would you sell it?
I'd keep it and not tell anyone.
See, that's what I said. It would be the thing I'd never talk about ever again. Yeah. It wouldn't see the light of day because I don't think I could kill it, but I don't want to be the guy who's known for scaleless rough scales.
Yeah.
I would just be afraid with it. It's like there's too much power.
Too much power for one person to have.
All of a sudden, imbricata become available, and it's like, no, I could just sell these and make hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy imbricata.
There and like somebody would offer me some ridiculous amount of money, and I'd be like, well, I do have student loans that I'm still paying, and then it'd be done, and then I'd sell my soul, and then later on, I'd be like, God, I hate myself. It would just so.
No one's in the shower.
Yeah, unclean.
Anything for the imbricata.
Eric would stab me for an imbricata.
There's only one person I would not buy imbricata from, and we all know who that one is. Yeah. His first name rhymes with snow, and his last name rhymes with Kowalski.
Anyways,
let's get back on track.
So, aside from the roughies, aside from the roughies, you have womas and stuff like that. And I just ditched my womas because I couldn't handle the Aspidites.
So I've got a pair of the womas. My female's a little wonky, so that kind of sucks. Yeah. So she's probably just gonna end up being a pet. But my male's doing great. He's awesome. He's growing like crazy. I haven't had that typical woma nose rub bite from him yet, which is pretty impressive.
I mean, gotta love that.
But
that is pretty good.
I really enjoyed them. I just remember them being like seeing them at reptile shows when I was a kid and just stuck to the glass. Like, oh my God, I need to have this one day. And they're finally here.
Yeah, you have a pretty cool setup with them as well. What are you keeping them? Is it a vision cage?
Yeah.
Is that what they're in?
It's just a random vision cage I had given to me. So I was like, I guess I can set this guy up in it. But yeah, it's got all the, I made all those rocks that are in it.
Oh, cool.
Those are a lot of fun.
Oh.
So talk to us a bit about that. So for anybody that's listening, right, they go over to Gecko.sphere. You'll see what we're talking about. But talk to us a little bit about how you How you make that happen?
Yeah, it's just styrofoam with like a hot wire cutter and a soldering iron. So I just cut out the basic shapes, the hot wire cutter, put some texture in there, the soldering iron, and then I use dry lock. I can't. So Beach of Scaly Beast talks about tile pointing, and I cannot find it in the United States.
Yeah, I don't think that's something we can get in the
I don't
US.
know what the equivalent is here, but I really want to try that because I like how that turns out. But so far, the best thing I've found is dry lock. It's super easy to use. It's just a masonry seal.
Yeah, that's what Brian Waterloo, he uses that for his monitors because he builds rocks and stuff for the bells. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've used it to like seal wood cages, like the inside of wood cages before, and that's worked great. But I just use that, and then I use like the Quikrete cement dye to put pigment into it. And I'll use that for the first couple layers. I got through 3 to 4 layers of just dry lock in that mix. And then I just use acrylic paints to put in like little details, highlights, low lights.
Are you using like an airbrush type of deal, or are you just hand painting it?
Just hand painting.
Hand painting.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, man. They look like pretty.
It's just
pretty close to looking real.
I just a lot of trial and error.
I thought you just went and got friggin' rocks because that's what I would have done. Is just wandered outside.
And like the big one has like a hide cut out into it.
Nice.
So it's hollow on the inside.
Nice.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it's just trial and error. Like you just paint it, and if you don't like it, put another coat on it. Like it's not going to hurt anything. You know, it's better for it, if anything.
That's so cool.
Right. Are you starting with do you sort of sketch out an idea, or like how do you come up with your ideas of what you're?
Sometimes I'll use that purple insulation foam, and I'll just kind of draw out like rocks or like something I want to do in the background and go from there. But sometimes it's just start cutting, see what comes out of it. Yeah,
just see what comes out. Yeah, I think it's like one of those things with me. It's like I think once you start it, right, you kind of like. You get over the not fear of doing it, but like you overthink it, right? So it's like I'm in this process where I'm like overthinking it and like afraid to just get your hands in there and start doing it, you know. And it's like I think like I think this is sort of a bad thing about social media, right? Because you know when I go and look at your page, I think like, damn. He's just like making these things like no problem. And now like talking to you, right? You're sort of like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just keep trying it. And you're like, now throw that in the trash, try again. And then you keep going and then you stumble upon your technique, you know, that's how you sort of develop it. Right?
I've thrown away all of my first ones. So like the first backgrounds and stuff that I made, those
because you got better and you made better ones and replaced. Dude,
you just gotta
start, and then it's you like, dude, you gotta get better.
That's sort of like what I see Luke do, right? I think like, you know, he goes and he makes this beautiful background and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing, you know? And then like 6 months later, it's like, nah, this is trash, mate. This is going. Wait, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, just follow what he does. Like he makes awesome videos of how to do it.
Yeah,
it's just the American equivalent that I found so far is dry lock and acrylic paint.
Is that he's sort of what inspired you to sort of go that route, or did you always sort of have this idea?
Yeah, I always just wanted to do backgrounds. Like I would just do the spray foam ones and carve it out and put silicone. But that's a pain in the ass.
Right.
And makes
it is.
And falls apart after a couple years.
It is.
And so I was like, screw this. It's way easier to paint these rocks. Like this is way better. And then I found his videos. I was like, oh, this is how I can do it better.
I am waiting because I did my rhino's background in the tank in my living room is spray foam, silicone, and all that other stuff. And I'm waiting until we move when I can, because I'm gonna have to dismantle that entire tank to get it out of the house again. And when it's in pieces, that's when I'm gonna redo the backgrounds and everything again. Yeah. So
if I'm using spray foam, it's I've made some really big rocks to go in, and then I'll just use a little bit of spray foam to go around it, and then that stuff. But for the most part, I just try to stay away from it because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think I want to add some ledges and stuff like that. So like all these things are cooking in my head, and I'm like, I can't just rip apart this cage right now, but soon, like it at some point. But my roughies have rock ledges that I pilfered from a friend of mine who had those cages by design cages, those big ones with the sliding doors.
Mhm.
They have rock ledges that you can order for the cages that are like $60, $70 or something a piece. And
Yeah.
he had monitors, so of course the rocks and they're made of foam, like they got tore up. So I got them from when he got rid of his cages, and I sealed them up. And then my roughies use them as platforms and rock ledges and stuff like that, which is awesome, but nowhere near the level that you got of like insane kind of crazy rock crevice. So one day maybe.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Like I said, all you gotta do is just start.
Yeah.
Everyone starts somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get cracking on it because, you know,
And your
I really
Kims are
dig
getting
it.
bigger
I
than
like,
faster than you expected. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man! Holy shit!
Oh my god! I
Holy
keep
shit.
feeding them; they keep growing. Weird.
Yes, yeah. My Ackies are huge. My blue tongue
Yeah,
is huge.
Lizards, man.
Oh man, it's the blue tongue's probably as long as my forearm at least. You know, you got a northern blue tongue too, right?
It actually just passed away. Like
No.
this past weekend. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all good. It happens, but it's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's part of the. How did you like working with them? Was it?
They're cool. They're awesome. I had blue tongues when I was little, and those were like those are some of my favorite lizards growing up. Like I did a school report on all the different species of them, and I just always been fascinated with them.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, man, I never thought I would get into, you know, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach Baez, he always talked about them forever. And I just never, I don't know. That was like, I need more room for carpets. Like I can't have room for blue tongues. But I guess as I'm getting older, it's like you want that more diverse collection type of deal.
And it's also you want to have stuff that you can kind of look at and enjoy, and it's not necessarily tied to your breeding projects, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the majority of my stuff is. Like, I would love to breed everything that I have here, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I keep what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
right. That's the way to go, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
am I
really
bummed
the way
every
to go.
year when I don't have white lip babies and Timor babies? Yes. Am I going to get rid of them? Fuck no. Like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still have
I do.
them.
And I keep getting more of them. What's wrong with me?
Right.
God, I bought a freaking red mountain boa this week. What is wrong with me?
Ooh, talking about those. I just got a.
All right.
Did you?
Yeah.
How are you enjoying that?
Those are. I've only had them for not even a week yet, but that.
Anybody we know procure? Like, did you get it from anybody we might know?
No. So a guy up in Phoenix produced it, and then my buddy that I was talking about before, Alex, acquired a lot of them.
Cool.
And so he gave me an extra mail he had for Christmas.
All right. That's cool. That is awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We saw, you know, Rob works
Gorgeous.
with them.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I know him and Rob talk a lot, and I think they're doing something, but
yeah, and man, that one he has is like
and it's also like he throws. Rob's like, "Here, hold this one." I'm like, "Oh, this is like a 2-year-old from last year." Because that's a proven male. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I'm like, oh my God! Like it is.
But I love the fact that a species like that, right? Not that you know, but you can't sell it, right? So there's like no monetary gain from it. It's like just people that are just really love the species, you know. That, to me,
I
that's
like
cool.
that over
That's
everything
cool.
else.
yeah, they're super cool.
But no, I bought its uglier cousin.
Are Rob's adults pretty chill? Do they?
He said not to open that one door.
Like, handed you one?
So,
Okay.
I mean, he said we could, but we'd get lit up pretty hard.
I want to say that I think his are like not necessarily bitey as much as they are muskers.
Oh, yeah.
Which some would say worse.
And
you know,
Rob, well,
I'd rather get bit than shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think Rob really doesn't mind the whole musk thing. You know, it's a lot of the species that he likes are like, you know,
them
water
Timors,
snakes.
water snakes.
It really depends what it is, because I've got like an 8-foot scrub back there that I'd rather get musked on than bit.
All right. Well, okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There's a ratio, like size of bite versus the. Yeah. It's a sliding scale.
Was going out on a date with my wife, I would probably prefer the bite.
I can hide blood easier.
If I knew that I was chill for the night and going to be in and like could go take a shower at any moment, I'd take the musk.
You don't want to be at the
that Jamaican bull musk stinks.
Yeah.
Too. It's pretty potent.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
want to be out with Dory and her being like, "What is that smell?" It's like, no, I don't smell anything.
It's when I had COVID. I couldn't smell anything. I think I told this story before, and there must have been a mouse
got left out. Yeah,
dead, and she's like, "What is that?
I smell nothing."
And I'm like, "I don't smell nothing." I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." I don't smell snake shit. I don't smell gecko shit. I don't smell nothing.
Everything works out.
Nothing. Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool. All right, and let's see what else. I mean, dude, you have so it's so hard to like stay focused.
We'll keep going with the geckos.
I know. Yeah, let's go. Let's go back into geckos. Let's talk. Let's venture back.
Colonics are near and dear to my heart. I love those things. I grew up, catching the Western bandits everywhere around here.
Okay.
I bred a pair that I caught in my parents' yard last year, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I produced some of the elegans last year. None of those babies made it, but my females looking to grab it again this year. So hopefully we can do a little better. I'm a little bit more prepared on tiny insects. So. Those things are crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, the metabolism on those things is so fast.
Really?
So you gotta feed them every other day. Wow. Yeah. Every other day at least.
Wow.
So what is it like? So talk to us about how your setup is with keeping them. Like what are you doing?
They're just in a rack setup, and that rack setup is actually, it's got like springtails and isopods in it. Because they'll eat the isopods and they'll eat, and like the stringtails just kind of help with their poop. But it's just like a loose substrate with. I used to keep it pretty humid. I have them. I don't think they're really appreciating it that much, so I have them in a different setup now that has a lot more ventilation.
Wow!
So those are my trotters. Those are some babies that I gave my friend here, a male, and those are some babies that he gave back to me that I'm raising.
Where the hell are they?
Okay.
They're in there somewhere.
Where the hell is it? It's like it's just.
Yeah, the elegans, I've just got a bunch of cork and like broken up plant pots and just stuff like that. Just tiny little things that they can get into. I keep my pair cohabs, like I keep them together year round. They seem to be doing fine. I just make sure that both of them are eating whenever I dump crickets in there. Make sure at least I see both of them get a couple, Haven't really seen any aggression, no tail nips, nothing like that. But yeah, I just keep like a little humid hide lay box in there for her. They seem to both use it whenever they want to, and then every once in a while I'll get the cage, get decent mist.
They're so again, right? Just to show my ignorance is like,
oh wow,
when we found them in Texas,
yeah,
I didn't even know
that's an elegans. That's my male.
I didn't even really know that they were a thing. I'm embarrassed to say, but I didn't even know that they were like it's almost like I'm just looking at a leopard gecko in the U.S.
Yeah,
it's in the and I'm like,
a little tiny leopard gecko.
What?
But that's
awesome.
Man,
I don't get why they're not more popular.
I think it's just because they're so small and you can't really hold them.
Okay.
Yeah, like a leopard gecko, like a little kid wants to get into reptiles and want to pet lizards.
Gotcha.
They can hold their leopard gecko. Like these things do not want to be held at all.
Are they more popular with like gecko geeks, if you will, like more hardcore gecko guys?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely, especially like some of the Mexican and South American stuff. I'd like to get some brevis, some of the ones from Texas, and some reticulatus. Those are cool. Reticulatus are cool. Those are like the size of a small leopard gecko. They're like they're like 2 to 3 times the size of the brevis, the ones that you saw. Those are also found in Texas, in the same area.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to Texas this year to herp just to find those. Like, alternative.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go find those.
It's another rock rattlesnake. Damn, it's like it.
I know a spot. We know a spot that you probably will have some luck.
We will provide this spot because you hooked this up in Arizona so graciously for that whole fun thing. So
yeah, I was bummed I couldn't be there when you found what
dude,
were
like
looking for,
I mean,
the one day I could get out was
right,
cold.
and like that they were right there, right where you kind of pointed it to us. So yeah, it was awesome.
Are Coleonics pretty good as far as captives go? I mean, are they?
Yeah, they're pretty easy. It depends. Like the desert species are way more hardy, like the variegatus and the brevis. Those are way easier. The elegans I've seen can be a little touchy. I raised all the variegatus that I produced last year were easy to raise up. The elegans, like I said, I lost all those babies. I only had two. Like I lost a bunch of eggs on my incubator overheated.
Right.
And so I'm gonna redo everything this year. I'm gonna incubate them a lot cooler. I'm not even gonna put them in an incubator. I'm gonna feed them a lot more. I'm gonna try a whole new approach.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the
approach?
Again.
How do Gecko?
What is
cooler temps, and then I put them on paper towels when they hatch. I'm gonna go straight to just like a loose substrate with a bunch of springtails, a bunch of isopods so that they can continuously eat whenever they want.
Right.
I'm gonna constantly I have peanut beetles, and they're like they produce a mealworm that's like the biggest one's like maybe a quarter inch.
Okay.
They're just tiny mealworms that are super. I can just put a cup in there and make sure that's always topped off.
Right.
And then, like I said, incubate them a little cooler. So hopefully, if they do hatch out, they'll be a little stronger.
Are you thinking they just got too hot and might have like absorbed all the yolk or something like that, or
something? Because one of the babies died like right away. Like it didn't make it. I don't even think like 2 days. And then the other one did pretty good for a couple months, and then just like that.
What's the temperatures you're incubating at?
I was doing like low 80s. I think like 80.
Low 80s?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to put them in the room.
Yeah.
And my room fluctuates from like low 70s to mid 80s. So
it might take a little bit longer, but they might come out healthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same that you do with the Oedora?
No, I put those right now. Well, depends. So if I have snake eggs in the incubator, I only have one incubator. Those get priority. Oedora come out. I threw those in a cage underneath the radiate heat panel, so that they did stay a little bit warmer. But right now they're in the incubator with like a African fat tail clutch, and they're at like 83 or 84, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh man, I'm just when I'm over on your page and then I see the
it's cool.
variegatus.
Those are the variegatus. Those are cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's a cool.
So I found that guy frozen, covered in ice.
Really?
Yeah, like December. I just whenever I'm at my parents' house, flipping boards. Like I got there's a bunch of boards set out, so I'm always flipping stuff, trying to find stuff. But I found that guy and he was covered in ice. I was like, oh shit, I should probably bring you inside. Brought him inside. He was fine.
Wow.
Slowly warmed him back up, and he was good to go. Yeah.
Oh man. And that's the one that you've bred that?
Yeah, that's the male.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that. Like, no. Covered nice to be like, oh, shame it's dead. Clothes. Like, but yeah. Put the board back on. So
I things like that just make me think like how much we don't know.
We have no
reptiles.
goddamn idea.
Tough, man. Like these animals are tough.
Yeah. I guess they would have to be in such extreme environments, Like, again, I guess I know that leopard geckos, where they come from, right? I guess it's not weird, but it just seemed so strange to be like how hot it was in Texas, and then just see a gecko come walking out. It's like 100 degrees at 12 midnight. And you're like, wait, what? I don't know. It just seems weird to me, but I look at them as like being more sensitive of a reptile, I guess. And I just
I would say
I'm
some
so
geckos,
wrong.
dude, are
Yeah,
bulletproof. Every
just
library
wrong.
has that one leopard gecko that's been living in a 10-gallon tank its entire life, covered with the carcasses of all the crickets that it didn't eat, and it's just like, yeah, I'm good. And it's like, oh shit, like it's some of them are hardy as
Missing all
hell,
his
man.
toes and- yeah. I mean, it's a desert species too, so it's got to be ready to survive. It can't.
Yeah.
It can't be weak. You know.
It's like breadlie.
Yeah.
You know, you have to drop a rock on it to kill it.
Yeah.
You know.
Come
It's
on, Owen.
cool.
That's got
it's
your name
gorgeous.
all over it.
Look up.
I have
there's one
no
that it's sitting in a
I
flower
have no
pot.
space, no
Hold that one
room, no.
That's my favorite picture of him.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. That's the one when I saw it, I'm like,
I have to get over
minute.
my horrible snake addiction first.
I gotta give Dustin a message because I need some of these. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That one?
Yep. Yeah. So like I was saying, the big white
Yeah.
spots is what it hatched out with. Everything else it gains as it grows.
That is cool.
Like all the yellow.
That's
I
a cool
like
little
them.
thing.
They're I'm glad I got them.
Eric has them now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I got them
I
from
haven't
him.
seen them. I haven't been over since you got new geckos and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I haven't
Yeah.
seen them. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah. I hope I have a pair. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to be honest with
I
you,
don't
I
really
don't
give a
even
damn.
really care if I don't have a pair. I don't really care. They're just, it's cool to have, you know.
let me know
So-
when they get bigger too. I'll send you some. Send you whatever. you
Yeah.
need.
Boy, girl,
It's,
both. Yeah.
Yeah, at the time you're going to start producing Aussie geckos, I'll probably be producing Woma pythons.
There you go. Yeah. better reptile collections through trading is what Owen always says.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, I love
That's
it.
what I prefer.
I love it.
100%. Like one of my buddies from California just came in here and I sent him home with some gargoyles. And
Yeah.
he's gonna give me something later. Like,
Oh, yeah,
that's how it should
I'd
be.
much rather do a trade
Yeah, man.
than spend money. So much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much better. Yeah.
And I like knowing
Yeah.
where my animals.
True.
Go, you know,
True.
like
Yeah.
I sold stuff online and it's like, oh shit, never heard from them again.
Yeah. I like having it close at hand in case something happens or, in case I need to
Yeah.
replenish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even so much about just sending them to like your best friends, but people you know and people you like, or
Right.
people that are into that species or whatever. It's just like, oh, this would be good here. And you're actually, in my eyes, the way I look at it is you're ultimately doing more for that species in
Mhm.
captivity by doing things like that rather than worrying about. And I'm not against getting money for reptile. I'm not saying that. Obviously, we all love what we love, but like if you find the right person that you can trade with, it's just the greatest thing. Oh, I have these,
Cool,
you have
swap,
that. Here
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. I like that way better.
But you only have one carpet. I know we're
Everywhere.
jumping all
Nothing
over the place.
is-
It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
I hope you're cool with that. You know what I mean? We're jumping all over the place, but we just want to make sure that we touch on so much stuff. What do you got carpet wise?
I have an old highlighter line jungle that was a family pet that's like, I think he's like 18 years old or something like that.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So he's just here hanging out. I had an IJ coastal cross or something like that I got.
Right.
And I had like a really nice tiger that I sent to Brendan Mayer.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was just kind of going through the room, seeing what I really wanted to do, and I was like, I'm gonna keep carpets. Like, I'd really like to get into some of the locality stuff, like some of the gelatins. If I'm gonna do morphs, I want to get into ivories. Those are probably my favorites. But so yeah, he stuck around just because of his history. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful snake, man. Beautiful snake. Gelatins, you say? No? Okay. All right. Now I know. I wish I would have known that earlier. You'd have a box by now.
Oh, shit. Well.
Come springtime. Yeah, I got, I'm sitting on a bunch of them. I have to send some to Justin and then.
Yeah, we were talking about him when he was down here.
Yeah.
Those things,
Yeah.
those are awesome. And then I'm waiting for you guys to do the Yakapori Depot, man. Then I need to try and hop on those.
That's supposed to happen. Hopefully happen this year. It looks like good things. So they're pretty cool. Yeah. I like them a lot. The one that, Owen's male is freaking phenomenal. That snake is probably one of my favorite carpets. It's just beautiful. I don't know how else to say it. It's a beautiful snake. And, I hope that more pop out like that.
Yeah.
But that's a line that was almost lost, and I'm glad that.
I'm glad people like you guys ended up with some.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it going. There's a couple cool things like that. We were talking about the other day. I really don't talk too much about what I'm breeding or whatever anymore, but the melanistic IJs could go, poison ivy stuff, the Yakapori Depot stuff, lightning line jungles that, just cool stuff. But what's your season like this year? What are you breeding?
So I've got a bunch of geckos going, and then snake wise, everything's pretty young. But I did pair up a pet granite pair of spotteds. So hopefully those will go.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got a mail from Justin.
That would be cool.
Justin Julander, because he said he got those Cape Yorks that ended up being granite. So he's like, "Oh, these aren't Cape Yorks." Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got the mail out of that because I had a ready to breed female. And so hopefully they'll go. I don't know. We just, like I said, I'm in the middle of a move, so hopefully that doesn't really mess them up. But
so do you like the Antaresia stuff?
Yeah, it's cool. Mini pythons. Heck yeah. It'll be interesting to see how I like them if I produce them and have to deal with babies, but
yeah, I haven't been there yet, but I hear it's quite a pain in the ass, but I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's this.
I've got,
go ahead.
The variable kings, it's gonna be the same story.
Same thing. Yeah. They're cool too, man.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully those will go next year. My female's 3 years old right now. It's still kind of small, but hopefully those will go next year. I got to figure out how to cool those things because they've got to get cold.
Are they? Are you working with any kings? Are they? I don't know. I don't have my colubrid guy here with us right now, but are they from Arizona like localities?
No, those are from Mexico. Those are from
Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the eastern coast of Mexico, up in the mountains, a montane species.
Yeah. Gotcha. Do you keep any king snakes that are from Arizona?
I've got some like more California stuff, so kind of.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, just got like a striped and then I don't even know. Really.
And don't you work with Mexican night snakes too?
Yeah, the yellow-headed rats, Mexican knights, whatever they are. Pseudo-lafe.
Right.
Yeah, those are cool. I think another year on those two. My male's pretty small. The female is 3 now, I think. But those are super cool. I can't wait to get those things set up into something big and watch those. Because they had... Go ahead.
You go ahead. No. I was just gonna say their eyes, but go ahead.
Yeah, I went to the the Cherokee Desert Museum this summer.
Right.
They had one set up in something similar to this, like a 2x2x4, but 4 vertical.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing was out and cruising, and I was like, "Oh, I need to do this. I need to have this in my house."
Right. Yeah, that's definitely I dig them a lot. Such a unique.
They used to be pretty common too. And now you just don't really see them too much. And this pair popped up local, like it was in Tucson. I was like, yeah, I will take that. That will be mine.
Nice.
If something that rare pops up that close, like you're almost obligated to do it. Like it has to. You can't just be like.
And I was just talking to a buddy about it. I was like, man, like, do you know anyone that's producing these? Like, I'd love to get some. And then that popped up like 20 minutes later. I was like, oh, there they are.
Did you see those, Owen? Have you seen those?
The pseudo-lafe Mexican night snake.
My friend.
I mean,
and I've got
my friend.
Yeah, he missed. Yeah. He didn't come over.
No, yeah, I was. They didn't bring me. Oh, wow.
And they get big too. They can get like 5 feet.
That's cool.
And they hang out.
Look at
it's like a more badass corn snake. Like it is.
Yeah, right.
So that's an anery.
Wow.
And
is it?
supposedly, like I like the wild type coloration a lot better. Like just those deep reds that they get.
Right.
But I think my female's also an anery, just a low grade anery. So we'll see what I get out of those. But
That's awesome, though.
Hopefully I can get a. I'm looking for a wild type female.
Okay.
So I can produce, a little mix of some heads and some visuals and.
Yeah, I was looking. Do you have one of the picture of one of those on your Instagram, or is it just the anery?
The wild types?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
I don't personally have any.
Oh, okay. I got you. But still,
yeah, those are gorgeous.
Yeah,
that's a cool looking snake, man.
Those are awesome.
I like that stuff that's like off the cuff, kind of like everybody who would look at that is going to be like, what corn snake morph is that? Or like
exactly.
What,
that's the person that bought them from me there, or I bought them from. I was like, they're like, oh wow, you actually know what these are. You're not just someone else.
Yes, there's some guy who's like, cool, hey, what's up with this?
Yeah.
I think I saw because I was looking at getting 100 flowers, and I think I was doing something and showing them to a friend of mine. He goes, "What kind of corn snake morph is that?" I'm like, "Incorrect, incorrect, sir." Like, yeah, so
I am scared to get an old world rat because that's just going to open up. That's going to open up a whole box of shit I need to get.
Do it. You gotta bite the bullet and get one, and then you're doomed.
I want Russian rats. I want those bad.
Yeah, Billy showed us his. Those are
cool.
Yeah.
There was a pair available at the last Tucson show. Some really, really nice ones. And I'd already spent so much money.
Yeah, there's that.
Can't get these.
Dude, you get one, like I got the blue beauties, and then the blue beauties led to like the Chinese king rats and all the other stuff. So it's like now I'm jonesing for 100 flowers, and the only bad part is that you sit down, you think about it, and you're like, that needs a 6-foot cage, that needs a 6-foot cage. Shit, like, and it's just like, all right, well, everybody grows slowly, and no old world rat snake will ever grow slowly. Like you can,
I don't think most rat snakes will.
No, you can like starve the fuckers, and they're still putting on weight and size. It's like, so
it's like olive pythons, man.
You can't not grow them.
Yeah, they just grow.
Yeah. By accidentally.
Wow.
Okay. Speaking of olives, those are next on my list.
Really? I know a guy.
Yes.
Olives, you say.
And I know a guy who might have a clutch this year. So, hopefully.
Those are awesome. Can't beat a green snake.
I just
very, very underrated.
Yeah.
I just put my females in 8-foot cages, and you're like, I'm just gonna get the water, and they start way over there, and you're grabbing the water bowl, and all of a sudden they're right up here, and their tails are still over there, and you're like, oh shit, right? You're like 10 foot long, like so it's, so they will use all of it. They will still come quick. They're fun snakes though. I dig my olives.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Those and Brettles, those are very high on my list for pythons.
I know a guy. Yeah, I know a guy who might get his Brettles to breed this year too. Yeah.
Although I think talking about outdoor stuff, I think those would do really well in Tucson.
Breadline? Oh yeah. I think they would do.
Cold in the winter, give them a little heated hide box for the winter they can get into, and I think they'd be great.
Yeah, I think they dig the outside, and they'd be something.
Be the brattle guy of Arizona.
And I think they'd be one of those. They'd be one of those animals that, like, if the sun's coming up overhead, you'd be like, "Oh, that is a very gorgeous snake." Like, it would just show off their colors. So
it'd be interesting to see like what their coloration does too, because like a lot of the wild stuff, like way lighter and super different looking. Like,
I think, my bredli.
I was just gonna say
my bredli do this thing where it's like wintertime. Yeah. All of them right now, dark, drab, ugly as sin. But like we're gonna hit into like a little bit of May, June, and I'm gonna open cages and stuff like that, and there's gonna be this bright orange, reddish fire truck animal, and I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? Oh wait, that's the same thing. So
I'm not sure, but the one thing I observed this year, right, is my inlands that are breeding age are dark dark. So when you just said that, it just like I'm like, man, did you get ugly or what
Dude,
happened?
I know when my males are cycling. I've opened the
man,
my stonewash male just shed, and he looks ugly as sin. And I'm like, you should look better. You just fucking peeled. Like, he looks black as anything, dark as hell. But in June, I'm gonna open up his bin, and he's gonna be like this gorgeous stonewash all curled up in a corner. So, yeah,
they're hopefully I can breed them this year too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there you go. You send geckos, we'll send pythons. You know, it'll be a box exchange. So, yeah.
I know, I've ran out of room, guys. What are you doing?
Misery loves company. If I have to sit here and be like, I can't fit any more cages, I must now make someone else suffer the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'd like to get an outdoor building set up at the new house. So
yeah,
more and more room.
Yeah.
Wife can have the reptile room, do whatever she wants with it. I'll have a shed.
Yeah. That's the plus, and then it's the I don't know. You move into a bigger room or a big building, and you're like, I'll never need any more space. There's a lot of space here. And then, like 2 months later, you're like, I'm out of fucking room. Like, how did this happen?
Shit, I didn't even move into my house, and I was like, wait a minute, I might have misjudged you because this room was so big when I was buying the house, but now it's sort of like I have the stuff in it, and it's like,
I love because I had
as big as
I had
thought.
the room in the basement, and I'm like, this will just be the reptile room, and then we'll wall it off so that the other part of the basement will be separate, and then I've just slowly crept away and taken various parts of the basement. Now the entire basement is just reptile. Like, there's nothing left in there. Yeah.
I'm curious to see this.
It's interesting. You can go. I'll let you give Mort some kale when you come over. You can jump in the pen with Mort. Yeah,
I could probably ride.
Probably.
Mort,
yeah.
You know? Look, the hobbit's
on the turtle.
Yeah. So, what species do you see yourself adding real soon?
This year or in the near future?
Like I said, middle of the move, so we'll see what gets added. But I would like to add.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's probably a better question. What would you like to add?
Brettles. I'd like to get into some carpets. I'm ready to focus on the stuff that I want to work with.
Cool.
There's not much more for colubrids. Some of the obscure, like velvet swamp snakes and just that weird dipsat. I can't wait for Zach's dipsatted book to come out. Because that's gonna turn into a shopping list here soon.
That's dangerous, man.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, if I can get my hands on some of the weird obscure stuff, then that. Gecko wise, there's not much more. Just kind of add to the colonies that I have of some of the Strafiers. I'd like to get some Ciliaris, some of the I'm trying to trade some of the Odura that I have for new species. So I can work with some of the different species of Odura, which I think I have some of those coming soon. But what I'd really like to do is just kind of focus on what I got and get things into because a lot of stuff I'm like, I bought babies and now they're getting big, so I got to figure out where they're going.
Right. Yeah. That's my fun. Problem is, I have these things. Shit. Yeah.
So I think some cage building is going to happen here pretty soon, and start to get things where they need to go.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I find that I'm trying to make sure that I manage the collection to the point where I don't get back into where I was, because where I was just too much. It was just too much, man. It was like you couldn't appreciate what you have. And now that I've sort of narrowed the focus to basically Australian reptiles, kind of.
Australian pythons and friends.
Which doesn't sound like really much of a focus, but I promise you, it is like a couple different types of species from different reptiles. Make me very happy.
You did dip your toe into several other regions that were not Australia main continent and stuff like that. And, that just wasn't for you. You had African species, you had Indo species, you had South American species. So, yeah.
I tell you what, if I could keep a night snake, a night tiger, that would be the colubrid that I would have, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Holy crap. I know we've seen like 1,500 of them when we were in Australia, but they're still cool.
Did you guys see the one post with some guy who was, what was it? Was it a cat eye snake? The guy got bit on the finger and had a very bad reaction to it. And like, we're talking like it blew up, turned black.
Blew up purple.
And then he's like, oh, and it healed. I'm like, bullshit. I want to see pictures. It's like, no, that finger fell off. Like, I want to see what happened. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, that's something. Is that something you think about? Like, Eric, you're talking about like possible night tigers, and we already established that, both Dustin and I both have rear fangs. I mean, is that something you guys even think about or consider when getting into a possible species? Is maybe you have a bad reaction to something?
Yeah, you kind of broke up there, but I think I got the gist of it. You're asking what I think about, like when I get possibly not dangerous, but something that could cause harm.
Right. You might have a bad reaction to
reaction. Yeah. I don't know. I used to be pretty allergic to bees.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm not anymore though, so we'll see. I'm also not. I'm pretty careful. Like, I don't like, hey, bite me.
Just jabbing it in the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself getting into anything like hot, like rattlesnakes or anything like that?
Yeah, I would love to just like one or two. Like, I'd really love a tiger rattlesnake. The stuff I want to keep, I can't in Arizona, like kilos and pops, but
right,
I can go see those in the wild.
Yeah.
But yeah. In Arizona, you can keep anything that's native and not protected pretty easily. So, but the wife said no venomous in the house. So
that's to be another outdoor snake. Yeah, you skirt the rule there. It's not in the house. Yeah,
it's not.
It's in the shed.
Not in the house. Nah.
I'm not breaking any rules. What are you talking about?
And it's that's a big responsibility to take on too.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm gonna play with. It's here's a mouse, hook, bucket,
peace,
clean, hook back. Yeah.
I think for me, like, I love rattlesnakes. To me, they're they're my favorite species in the U.S. Well, I should say favorite group of snakes, right? It's just so, like, to me, it's like I'm gonna focus on them as far as a herping thing. Trying to just see the various species throughout the U.S.
It's something that you don't really appreciate until you talk to people who aren't in the U.S., where it's like, I'm like, oh man, Aussie's got all those really cool python species. They're like, you guys have rattlesnakes. Like, you ever understand how cool that is? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. It's like, and then you start seeing them, and you're like, okay, this is a badass creature. So
and like, you're in the perfect spot for rattlesnakes, man. I mean, like,
dude.
Talk to us about some rattlesnakes.
Herping rattlesnakes.
We can get into some herping. I don't know what I like more, keeping or herping.
You don't have to choose. You don't have to choose.
I am in the field at least every weekend when it comes to that season. I spent a lot of time down south on the Mexico border just because I'm so close. And you can find some really cool stuff there. I've got some local spots here that are 5 minutes from my house where I can go find 3 species of rattlesnakes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What else do you guys want to know about it?
I mean,
go ahead.
What have you, like? Have there ever been? Is there a rare find that, like, you would probably not a lot of people have found that you have? You don't have to divulge. Yeah, you don't have to divulge where you found it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, my rarest find is probably the thorn scrub hooknose snake. It's just a super weird colubrid, hog-nosed looking thing that barely comes up into the United States. Like, the majority of its range is down in New Mexico. One of the coolest things I found was a Cortalis enyo, the Baja California rattlesnake.
Oh, cool.
I took a trip down there with my dad and a friend of mine and a friend of his to go free diving with whale sharks.
Nice.
And I was like, it's the middle of summer. Like, let's go road cruising.
Yeah.
I was looking. There's a colonic species down there that I really wanted to find, the colonic swataki. We found a king snake and a couple of those enyos, and that was cool. that was awesome.
That is cool. And then whale sharks. So I mean, you know,
oh yeah, then whale sharks,
and whale sharks,
dolphins, sea turtles. Like that was an awesome trip.
That's badass. That is badass. So, are there any like rattlesnake species in Arizona that you haven't found or?
Yeah, believe it or not, I still haven't found any specks.
Really?
Speckleds. Yeah, I've never gone to look for them, so that probably.
I probably should like shoot for that, I guess, at some point, maybe. Yeah.
No, a lot of the northern stuff, like the Oregonus complex, I haven't really seen much of that or any of that. Then there's the always elusive Massasauga that we have that it's pretty hard to find.
It's in there somewhere.
Other than that, I found pretty much everything that's down south, like all the sidewinders, all the montanes, the big stuff, the diamondbacks, the blacktails, the blacks, all that.
I was so hoping for a blacktail in Arizona because
we in a good spot for them.
We didn't find any in Texas, and then when they went without me, they found like 5, and I'm like, God damn it!
Well, that's a different species.
I know. I'll take any blacktail at this point, man. It's just I think they're my favorite looking ones. So it's
Yeah,
the contrast on them.
Some of our high elevation blacktails are insane.
Right.
The folds that they have on them, it's awesome.
I mean, I guess I'll be okay with the clobberi and the willardi. I guess that's fine. See, that's gorgeous. God damn it.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite blacktail I've found.
It's so pretty.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. If only I had a zoo.
It looks like something that should be in the jungle, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
my herper question for you. What has herping taught you, and how have you taken that and applied it to what you keep?
Well, patience. Holy shit, does it take a lot of patience? And I mean, a lot of stuff here too. Like, prepare something doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna breed. Like, you gotta do the right things. You gotta wait for them to be ready. You gotta wait for them to do what they want to do. And like a lot, I have, like, I use a lot of the landscapes and stuff that I see. Like, half my phone is pictures of snakes, half my phone is pictures of rocks. I'll use that to use as ideas for like backgrounds and stuff too, and like naturalistic setups.
That's cool. Okay,
I'll totally agree with that. And also, it's like I think herping is everything about timing and luck.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, we went with you to the same exact places. Like we went with you the one day, and then we went to those same places the 2 days after. With you, nothing. The 2 days after we struck gold. Like, it's just and that's just how it goes. And the only thing that changed is I think like the temperature went up maybe a couple degrees, and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
has there been anything? So this question is something that got me thinking because of Lucas was on that 5 questions that THP is doing, and one of the questions I don't even know what the question was, but basically like he was talking about this snake, this rattlesnake, and this rat. Was it a rat? I think it was some kind of rodent.
Mouse.
Yeah, they were living under the same.
That female is living with the rattlesnake, and it attracts the male.
Yeah. I was like, wow. How do I talk to this guy every day, and he's never told
what
me this
the hell, dude?
You know what I mean? But has there been anything like that to where you've observed where you're just like mind blown type of thing when you're in the field?
Oh man,
have you had any kind of those moments?
Put me on the pressure.
Sorry, man. I didn't.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen garter snakes like 4 feet off the ground in trees. That was pretty cool. I saw a pregnant garter snake basking in a bush like 4 feet off, like at the very top of the bush.
Wow.
That's pretty cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen one of my favorite finds from last year was a blacktail that was just in this tree hollow right next to this creek, and we're looking and looking and looking. My buddy goes to like step over, and he's like, "Oh shit, blacktail!" And it's perfectly in there. Probably nothing quite as cool as that wood mouse, but I just love like all the in situ stuff. Just seeing like the craziest. Like I've seen pyros like climbing trees and like just the random places you'll find clobs. Like it's.
I think you told me you found was it 2 clob or 2 willardi that were like breeding underneath a rock or something?
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, we saw 2 clobs locked up a couple years ago.
I mean, that's just cool.
Like you hear the rattle and you look over and you're like, oh shit, that's 2 of them. So we just booked it real quick just to not really disturb them. And then like I got my camera out and zoomed in on them and couldn't really get any pictures because they're in a bush.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we sat there and watched them. We watched them breed and do their thing, and then watched them separate.
That's cool.
That was cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like those things that are like, you know, maybe you'll see it on planet Earth, but like to see it in right there.
Mm-hmm. I saw my lifer Mexican hognose was eating a Mexican spade-foot toad.
Oh wait, that's on your page,
that's
isn't
awesome.
it?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
We're in this spot road cruising, and all of a sudden you just see this toad hopping while it's dragging something. And we're like, oh shit, snake! So we stop and get out, and it's just the toad's just hopping across the road as this hognose is holding onto it, and it gets settled underneath the bush, and we just sit there and watch it and film it.
It's great. The only hognose we found was KIA was hit by a car on our way to go look for him. Yeah, it was. Justin was pissed. Like it was that one. That would have been his lifer, and that's all he was here for. I mean,
those things are cool.
Oh, dude, it was gorgeous.
Super cool.
It was gorgeous. That was like,
fresh?
Yeah, way too fresh. Yeah, like it would have been. And that thing is like, out of all the animals, we've talked about it in Texas and stuff like that. Like, I'd maybe take this one home with me, or maybe take that one home with me. Justin would have crushed my head with a rock if we had found one, and I've been like, maybe I want to take this with me. He would have just been like, duh, and just like that was a no-go. So
yeah,
they're
hard. Mexican hogs are
hard.
They're toad eaters.
Are they just you mean hard to find or hard to keep?
Hard to keep.
Or both?
Yeah.
They just want toads.
If you go in the right spots, they can be pretty plentiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think herping is like, I think part of the excitement is right. You do all the research to figure out like where to be, what's the right time to, what kind of environment is this species in, and then like really it's just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Man, it's just like
I've got notebooks filled up with information about the clobs and Willardi. I spent the whole summer going to that range we went to, Owen.
Right.
And just every time I found one, I was taking temperature, humidity, time of day, the GPS coordinates, like all that.
And it's
I've got those.
But that's awesome. And then it's that shit that like people will end up using for like research papers and stuff like that. Like, and to better understand the species, it's stuff like that. And people like you who are out there bushwhacking every goddamn weekend. Like it is. So.
Yeah.
So you're going to say, I got those. Go ahead.
I've got those pretty locked down in that, at least in that range, which is super interesting because there's another range where I can't find shit.
Okay.
So
just like the next mountain over. It's just,
like I'm doing the same exact things and it's just nothing.
That's so weird, man. I mean, I was herping in Florida with KJ, and we're driving, and we got like one yellow rat snake, and we had like nothing else. Then it was a downpour for maybe like, I want to say like not even a minute, like maybe 30 seconds of just straight downpour rain, and then tons of pygmies, an alligator, a bunch of gopher tortoises, like everything was fucking out. Like, and that was insane. So, and then of course it got a little bit cooler and then everything was gone. So it's almost again with herping is you got to be right place, right time.
Oh yeah.
And everything's just got to hit right.
Yep. Yeah. That's cool, man. I did the same thing when we were in Texas, the second trip, taking all the, UV temps, I don't know what I'm going to do with that information, but I thought that and I don't know what your thoughts are on what you're going to do with it, but I thought that it would just help me make me a better herper, right?
Yeah.
So sort of apply the idea that I found this snake. what were the conditions, so that I can see if there's any sort of, if there's anything that stands out of like, okay, you're always going to find this snake the day after it rains,
Mhm.
or, whatever it would be, if the sun is out, you're not going to find it, or
some of
the UV is high.
Some of the stuff I found out about them is pretty interesting. I'll tell you guys about it once we're done recording.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it the other ways. Like, was it Greg Trumbauer that put out the herping books and stuff like that of all his like different adventures doing all that kind of stuff like that, or was it somebody else who did that?
I'm not sure.
No, Trumbauer has he has some herping.
Yeah, or it's somebody else. Somebody I'm thinking about. But hell, man, when you're finally done with doing all the herping, or you don't really want to go out every weekend, fucking write the book, man. Yeah. No reason for that data to go unused or to help the next generation get their lifers and stuff.
I think I don't know for you. I don't know if it's our trips. I don't know if it's that just because I'm going with people I really like and look up to and whatnot. But our trips are always just so much fun, and it's not even just the reptile part of it. It's the whole experience from
start to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like. Even just the food we're eating, where we're going, places we're seeing, crazy stories of stupid shit
that lasts for fucking ever. Like dude, every time I order, like, I'll just have an iced coffee, I keep thinking about the milkshake concoction that they delivered to you when you're like, I'll have an iced coffee, and they give you this thing that is clearly just ice cream coffee. And it's just like, that's not what I wanted. I'll take it, but that's not. So every time I order an iced coffee, I'm just like, it clicks in my brain. So yeah, dude, that's what the whole thing is about. Plus that, and enjoying the hell out of it. I mean, I over the past, I think the trip to Texas and the trip to Arizona, I have a newfound love for rattlesnakes, just because seeing them out where they were and how badass they are. So yeah,
I need to get your guys' way and look for some timbers.
Yeah,
this whole shelf is all rattlesnakes.
That we know a spot.
Oh, I know the spot, man.
For timbers.
I know the spot.
Yeah, we've gotten past 2 times, 3 times we've gone.
I've been there 3 times,
and they're always
every
there.
Time that I've
are the ones that you have to be darker.
They mix. There's the black ones, and then there's the lighter ones.
Sweet.
Yeah,
is that an elevation thing, or like, are you guys? I mean, are you seeing them like in the same areas, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the last one, the 2 that I saw up in that place were both dark, but Eric's seen the lighter ones up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I'm working on Timber Rattlesnake is the student of the serpent that's going to be coming out soon.
Nice.
And like, I've been really like diving deep into that, and I think one of the things that sort of, I don't know, stood out to me or whatever when it comes to that is when you're finding what was my thought with that, like those dark ones seem to be wait a minute, I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean,
carry on.
The one thing I have to do is this spring or summer, I have to like kidnap Eric. Like, I'm talking like he's getting out of his office, he's going to his car, and I'm grabbing him and throwing him in the back of my car and making him take me to where he knows to find copperheads, because every time I'm not with these fuckers, they keep finding copperheads, and I've never seen a copperhead in the wild. But like the one herping trip when I had to work, and I'm like, I'll catch up with you guys later, found a shit ton of copperheads in the morning, nothing when I was there. When they went to Texas, they found a goddamn copperhead. Like, every time they go, they find copperheads.
Is it the Trans-Pecos copperhead that you guys saw?
The one in Texas, right? The western one? Yeah. So they got eastern and western copperhead. Cool. I got no copperhead. So
the Trans-Pecos are my favorite. They're insane.
I guess we didn't really find them, but we saw them. But like,
they were there. It's like,
that doesn't really count. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Right. You were you outside?
You find it.
listen, I've seen copperheads in the zoo. That does not count. Are you outside that a wild animal counts? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple that personally I don't think they count for me because I don't want to find this snake on my own. But
yeah. The place that I know that's God, what is it? 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
The park is loaded with them. No, I was going to say that they're when we I'll show you the picture afterwards, but when we flip this like it's kind of like the weed grower or the weed buffer that you would put down before you would like mulch, so there was like it came out to the edge here. We lifted it up and I think there was 7 copperheads underneath that thing.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Nuts.
Pretty cool. So I don't know, Owen. You wanna hit on closing questions and
see if I can get that going. Hang on.
Put Dustin on the spot here.
We do that constantly. All right. So we already asked that question. All right. Which species have you tried to breed and failed the most?
Well, I tried my spotted last year with a different male. So like I said before, like a lot of my stuff's still really, really young. Like it's all like 2 or 3 years old. I tried the spotted, they didn't go last year, but I think it was because I don't know, my male was pretty small. I didn't really cool them or anything, I just put them together. So I guess that's the only snake species that I've really tried to breed.
Okay. What is one species that you've had regret passing on?
Russian rattlesnakes.
Those are right there.
Probably that. I don't know. A lot of the other stuff, like, there's some scrubs and stuff that I passed on that I wish I would have got, but like a female for this guy.
Okay, yeah. Pair him up. And he's what kind of scrub is he?
A Luna. Yeah.
Okay, and there you go. There's a copperhead.
Yeah, that's nice. Those deep reds, that's cool.
All right. What is the hardest lesson you learned while keeping reptiles?
Let's see. You can't be a helicopter parent. You just gotta let them ride, let them do what they're gonna do. Be a student of the serpent. Nice. They will tell you what they need. They will answer all your questions.
I was talking with Mike Curtin a couple days ago, and he and I were just talking on the phone and stuff like that. And I was telling him about that I paired my black-faced white lips, and that the next day I was going like, I'm probably going to separate them. I should probably separate them. They're not doing anything, and the male's still pretty small, and I should probably separate them. And Melissa was like, are they killing each other? And I'm like, well, no. And she's like, then leave it be. Don't touch them. And then Mike, without missing a beat, is like, she's so good for you. I'm like, wait. Like, wait a minute. I know what I'm doing here. It's like, no. Okay. So, but I would agree that that's something I still have struggles with is micromanaging and helicoptering. So definitely. And now if you could start your reptile keeping career over again, would you change anything and what would it be?
Yeah. I try to skip the nose arch phase when you're trying everything you see. I wouldn't necessarily say I wasted time doing that, but because I'm happy it's brought me to where I'm at, but I think I'd be a lot further than where I'm at now.
That's a difficult phase.
I was able to be like, oh, I'm not gonna like that. Just get this.
That's a difficult phase to get over, though, man. I mean, because when you're in it, first off, you don't know you're in it. Like you just start grabbing everything. Yeah. Jeez. All right, and I guess the last one would be, if you had one piece of advice to give the reptile community, what would it be?
Maybe chill the fuck out.
That's
like we're so up each other's fucking throats. Like, you just need to come together as a community, you know? Who cares that this person likes a ball python, or who cares that this person likes this weird gecko? Like, they're all awesome animals. We should just keep what we like to keep and not worry about what everyone else is keeping.
It's so hard to get people like just to chill the fuck out when it comes to those kinds of things, or even just to almost even take it just as a joke. Like if I'm saying, if I'm like, oh, I'm bashing bubble, like I don't mean it. It's still a cool species. Knock yourself out. Not for me, but some people take it so personally that I'm like, that's not for me. And they're like, why not? Whoa. Like it just isn't. So yeah, it's hard, man.
For sure. Yeah. I have to agree with you on that one. It's, you know, it's you're so excited about a certain species that you're working with, but rather than sort of, I don't know, you used to like bash a species in order to make your species that you like so cool, but like, you know, just say why you love it. And people that love it will
come to you.
Along,
they'll find you.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see that a lot more too. Like just with people keeping like these weird little snakes that no one cares about. Like water snakes have gotten huge, and I think a lot of people probably hated those before. You know,
it's so funny with that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, I would think about it like 10 years ago. If I had water snakes, like people are like, why do you have that? I'm like, because I liked them. Like it's, and that would be like, well, you're fucking weird. All right, cool, thanks.
You had water snakes?
No, I don't. But if I had water snakes, I mean,
no. I thought I'm asking if you had.
I've herped them. I went and found them. They're flighty little angry bastards, which are hilarious. But yeah,
there's a population of invasive ones that I want to go find.
Huh. Invasive.
I think they're the broadbands. I'm not really sure.
There you go.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, there you go. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copperheads, 6 copperheads. Jesus Christ.
There was 6.
Yeah, holy shit. See, he just won't share. He won't share the copperheads. What a dick. Yeah.
Dude, they were cool snakes, man. I didn't realize how much how cool they were until you know, remind yourself.
And it's right there. It's not too far away. It's like right in your backyard. There's all cool shit in your backyard. So,
yeah. A lot of times there's cool shit in everybody's backyard. You just got to take the time to notice it, and look at it.
Dude, there's there's a piece of highway that fell into a river by my house. So they kind of just left it be. So it's just this big, pretty much like street to nowhere that like is right up on this thing. And it's cool. That's a nice picture. But you never be able to get to it until you cross this like creek in this river. Well, they just built this really nice bridge over the river that you can kind of walk to get to the hiking trails. You damn well better believe I'm waiting for summertime, because everybody keeps bitching about this little roadway thing that is just covered in snakes on nice warm days because it's black asphalt and stuff like that. So I'm waiting for the first warm day. I'm just going to walk down and see what I can find. Like, I guarantee you it's going to be teeming with water snakes, black rats. I'm going to have a field day.
Yeah, man. It's all cool stuff.
Sweet. Yeah. So I guess, Dustin, is there anything else you want to toss out there? Any social media stuff you want to throw out there for people to follow, or any way that anybody can get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram, gecko.sphere. That's all I really have. It's just got like my personal Facebook, but throw snakes up every once in a while.
Awesome. Well, yeah, man, this has been awesome, and hopefully we can get out west again and do some herping with you. Check out some cool stuff, and
we're coming. We're 7 weeks away from Arizona. No,
you're 7 weeks away from Arizona.
You're going to California. No.
You're going to California.
7 weeks away from California.
I can't go to California. I have to stay here. Which means you're gonna find all the sidewinders. I know it's gonna happen because I want the sidewinders, and you're gonna find the sidewinders.
Hey, there's a bunch of sidewinders.
See, God damn it! Just to do it again later when I'm not getting married.
Well, Nipper's coming with us to Arizona, so we'll be.
Nipper's gonna be on this side of the ocean. In what? How many weeks?
When are we doing Arizona? In June?
Okay. I have to be nice to him or start being nice to him. I need him to forget about sending him pictures of like Clobber Eye and Willard Eye like on a mountaintop. Like I need to start saying nice things. Otherwise he's going to detour and come kill me and then go with you guys to Arizona. So
yeah, man.
Are you guys going to the same part of Arizona, or you guys going somewhere different?
I'm not 100%.
No, I think we like doing the same. I think we like doing the same places because we know, kind of like dry run. We can hit these places and get this.
Yeah.
So and also because we got some of the target species, we can focus in on some of the other ones like Gila Monster. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Some of those dates.
Rob will get you.
Okay.
You got to talk to the travel. Travel agent, the travel arm of FDR.
I'll get you the dates.
He sets up the trips. We just arrive. At least I do.
Well, yeah. Speak for yourself. I just
show up, sunglasses.
That's what I do every week on NPR.
The talent
for the
doesn't
last
have
11 years. Why should
the talent doesn't have to do anything. They just show up. Let's be honest here.
Is that how it goes? Okay,
it is. Right. One day I'll teach you.
Yeah, Arizona is June 5th to the 12th.
And California is, guess what, earlier? Or you said there's only 7 weeks.
California's coming up. Yeah. April, well, it's, what is it? March, what is that? March 27th to the 3rd of April.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Both good trips, man. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll definitely come out there and check that out. So, all right, dude. I guess we'll just close out the show, Eric.
Oh, yeah, let's real quick do that. And then I want to hear his crazy story.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to follow us, you can check out everything that has to do with Morelia Python Radio and the network and all the podcasts that are associated with it over at the MoreliaPythonRadio.com. If you want to reach out to us, info@MoreliaPythonRadio.com. Check us out on YouTube. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subscribers, but we're getting there. We're almost at 700.
We want that little black thingy. Yeah, just chipping away.
I want to try to do some more carpet focused, just the whole short thing, just showing off some of the different.
I think we need to yell at some interns because I have all that Arizona footage that nothing's
Arizona footage. I think we have
to start. I don't want to be mean to the interns. I'm not the guy who's mean to the interns.
Sometimes you got to be.
Sometimes I have to be, otherwise they don't listen. So beatings.
But yeah, I would like to try to do a little more because again, right? I don't really see, other than Riley and a couple other people. And I'm probably forgetting that, but I don't really see a whole lot of carpet python focus.
I see none, but
YouTube type stuff that I would say is good.
Yeah, I would agree. Amen.
So I'd like to get some of that out there. So obviously there's it's always comes down to time. So hopefully we can get that going over the next couple of months and stuff. But Australia's opening back up,
which means
we're going to be taking trips to Australia, which means that that means more herping footage of Australia.
Soon we'll be in the Kimberley. All right. Crikey. All right.
So subscribe to the YouTube. If that's how you listen to podcasts, you can listen to them over there. They all upload there. Sometimes we do live streams, Carpets and Coffees every Friday there, those kind of things. So that's always fun. That's
Patreon. You can go and join that and get to the inland level where you get to be invited to our monthly kind of like behind the scenes live streams. Also the Teespring store where you can get all the MPR, Carpet Fest, Rogue Reptiles, and EB Morelia stuff all up there. And that's all we have for everybody tonight. So we'll say thank you all for listening, and we'll catch everybody back here next week for some more Morelia Python Radio. Good night.